Buenas noches. Buenas noches. Why do people still believe in the flat earth theory in 2026? This on Facebook, right? NASA post, an admin or one of the many members educating people. Comments. Somebody asked a question just to get people revved up. Here are the comments. Some of the comments, right? So silly, because when you go up in a plane, you can see the curvature. Not properly, especially when there's no curvature. It's awkward. It's an awkward situation we have us at the moment. Cuts to mental health, somebody asked. Cuts to mental health care. Is that why people believe in the flat earth theory in 2026? Those people were born with peanut as a brain. Some of these comments are quite offensive, right? Now, division. This stuff, it's war talk, isn't it? It's more. This is my favourite one. That's why I put it in the red box. Because they're fucking stupid. I just thought it was priceless. You know, there they are. Anyway, ignorant people with bad genes. Ouch! Ouch! Hello, my name is Inigo Montoya. You killed my father. Where to lie? Trying to lighten the mood up a little bit before we go dark. Because some people's brains didn't develop. That's why some people still believe in the flat earth theory in 2026. They lack the ability to comprehend reality and scale. Pure stupidity. I bet they don't believe we went to the moon either. Oh. These are the comments. Drugs and lack of education. Drugs? What's drugs got to do with anything? Come on. Everybody's on drugs, aren't they? Lack of education. This one, it's almost like a contradiction in terms, isn't it? I think it is. Education failed them, or they're easily sucked into conspiracy theories, or both. Uneducated, unintelligent, lack of education again. It's a conflict of sorts. Should have gone to more physics classes, they say. Here's the thing, folks. I saw this and it reminded me of when I had to turn my notifications off on Instagram. Back in the day when I used to pop into a room, a NASA room or moon landing room, and you didn't go. Thrust in a vacuum doesn't even work. Ding! Ding, 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 ding. I haven't to this day, I promise you, turned my Instagram notifications back on. It was so traumatic. I answered every single message over time. But in the end, ding, 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 ding. Because I didn't do it just once. It was a hobby of mine to go and find people that were talking about these things and go and say, guys, thrust in a vacuum doesn't even work. You said every action. Oh, shut up. Here's the thing, folks. It's all in good fun, right? I left a comment, which is what started the ding, ding, ding. It's been a while since I had a little bit of a flurry from Facebook. I've noticed that most of the people who believe in a flat earth think for themselves. I hope that helps. Well, they don't. Especially when you write that. I hope that helps. They don't like that shit, right? So, bang, bang, been going back and forth. Now, when I said, most of the people I find who believe in the flat earth theory are people who think for themselves, right? This is, we have us a thing here because they're telling us lack of education, uneducated, unintelligent, again, lack of education. Now then, science, speed of light, they're teaching, aren't they? The Roma thing, the light's absolute, even though during every single solar eclipse that anybody has ever seen play out, you'll find that the sun is directly behind the moon. There is no light delay. Like I always say as well, my biggest smoking gun is all of the lies, the physics and the horseradish. But look, all of these people are convinced it's round, but they're nasty. Look, they're, not really. When I say people who can think for themselves are the people who kind of think it's flat. These people, you guys, you cannot think for yourself. It's shocking. Not only can you not think for yourself, you don't know that you can't think for yourself. For any of you to have even half a chance of working out if Earth is flat or not, you're going to have to step out of your comfort zone, leave the majority behind, go and sit down somewhere quiet and think about Earth possibly being flat or being round with all of the facts. I still haven't managed to get my telescope out to have a look at something, right? I did, but it was too windy a couple of times. And I'm scootering at the moment, so it will happen. But again, the lies. The lies. The speed of light. The moon landings. Parker Solar Probe. Looking at asteroids, of course. Dark. Last week or so, it's heartbreaking to hear that Voyager is turning its life support system off day by day, switching things off, because Voyager is sending bleeps back to NASA from 20 plus billion kilometers away. I think it was a light day away, was it? A light day away? A light day away? It's another reason for finite light. Communications in space. I guarantee you that radio signals are the same as light. If you're within range, you hear it. If you're not within range, you're pretty much screwed. I do believe Voyager is kind of out of range. Out of range. They lost it in 1977, probably. It just couldn't turn around, if anything. Nobody's talking to either of the Voyagers. Slam dunk. Right? It's all lies. The people who think the Earth is flat, they've thought about these things on a personal level, able to think for themselves, to work stuff out without having to hold anybody's hand. Now, people who keep saying education failed, lack of education, uneducated, and I'm saying, well, there could be contradictions in terms going on there, because for me, it's all a fantasy. there's two types of people in this world right now. Probably 3 or 4. But I'm talking about a group of people who can't think for themselves. They're just like a big majority group. It's all in fun. And then there's another group of people who can think for themselves. And it doesn't matter that they've been lied to. When they see a few things that don't add up, they balance the checkbook somehow. See that there are a few things that aren't adding up. And one of those things is Earth being round. NASA, listen. It's fascinating, but people who cannot think for themselves, they don't even know that they cannot think for themselves. You have to think for yourself to work the flat Earth out. That's where we're at. And if you don't, you can't even start to question it. Because anything that contradicts what you've been taught, it doesn't, it just bounces off. I remember I used to talk about stuff a couple of years ago. Solar eclipse stuff I thought was so basic. But people, I used to see in the comments, they used to say, what is he talking about? 1 + 1 = 2, that kind of a thing. But because it contradicts what people have already been taught and their baby sheep, little ewes, they can't even contemplate the idea that what they have been taught is wrong and what they're hearing from somebody else could be right, and it literally doesn't break through. It just bounces off. They can't break the information down. I've seen it. They cannot even, it's like, what is he saying? What is he saying? Because it contradicts what they've already been taught. Cognitive dissonance. It's all a bit of tampering with human nature. When your baby ewes, lambs, seriously, if you cannot think for yourself, you will not be able to work the basics out, right? All these people who can think for themselves, it's strange. It's good to see that people can think on their own, having to hold somebody's hand. This is how we do it. We do this. Too many people who don't realise that you've been told what to think. They haven't taught people how to think, using logic and common sense, how to shut some doors and open other doors, depending on where the facts go. What's impossible, what isn't. Being able to differentiate between what's real and what isn't, and what is possible and what isn't. The Apollos, 1969 1972, there was obviously a pact back then with the rocket gods, wasn't there? We will have no rocket accidents, no crashes, nothing between 1969 and 72. Let's get them up there. And they surely did, didn't they? You know. So folks, I make fun of it, but it is a very big worry that the people, look at these comments, born with a peanut brain, because they're fucking stupid. Ignorant people with bad genes. I think they look alright. Because some people's brains did not develop. They lack the ability to comprehend reality and scale. Pure stupidity. When is Artemis 3 going up? He said after that. I don't know what to say. Alright? But flashbacks of my Instagram days, the notifications, the terror, the night sweats, this abuse. It's awful. Is this where we're at still? Not really. It's cute. It's cute that they're telling us that the education system has failed us. Well, I think you'll find it's the other way around. It's the education system is preventing people from thinking for themselves. That was the plan all along. Anyway, look, this is all for entertainment purposes, as usual. All right? Buenas noches. Okay. My name is Carlos Montoya. You killed my father. Prepare to die. Buenas noches. Oh shit, the dogs are going off. It's a bit late for that. Right, I'll be back.